Hey Chang, any reason why we want to use Zoom?
Hello there.
Hi.
Well, Zoom was very punctual, 40 minutes.
So, Chang, any particular reason to use only Zoom?
The reason was I've looked into other options. There's Google Meet, but I last time I used a similar product from Google called Google Hangout about 2 months ago. They have a 10 people limit. So if you're like
Google,
11th person,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't.
Google Meet does not have any limit right now.
Okay.
Google Meet,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it does
Yeah.
not have any limit.
Uh-huh.
It is, you can add hundreds of people up to unlimited time right now. And post September, they want to restrict it to 60 minutes apparently. Google wants to.
Okay.
Yeah, meet.google.com you can use without any restrictions, right?
I see. Do they have breakthrough?
I doubt that feature because it all runs through the browser. So you can screen share, you can present, but that's pretty much it. No break rooms.
Okay. I guess we'll see later
Yeah,
how it works.
yeah.
Anyway, so I think okay, at once Sudhira Spear came back and Leo. I think we have mostly everyone, but do we have everyone?
We have
No, I
12
think
people.
Dan is also gone.
We had
Torres
14
here.
people.
Oh, 14.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is still recorded, so I'll just continue.
Sure.
Where did I cut off?
Step 3, I think.
Okay, just making sure if we're on the same thing.
Yeah, we just save a copy in our drive.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, let me share my screen again. So here you will see that I'm updated. I've reset it the runtime. I saved my notebook as a local copy. As you can see, there's a copy of lesson 1. Another thing is like if you are running on Google, it does not know where your data files are. For example, if you have an image data set or something, I think what it's trying to say is that Google doesn't know where to get it. So we need to mount the drive point. So this is, I'll just copy the code, I'll explain. So what it's trying to do is, it's using Google Colab is trying to say, okay, let me mount your Google Drive as an endpoint. Mount just means it's providing as a folder that Google Colab can see. And your root directory is my drive, which is your Google Drive home base directory. And they added a base there that is root there plus whatever this thing is. This means that I think all the if you drop your data files in Fast.ai -B3 in your Google Drive folder, then Google Colab will be able to see it. So if I execute this, and let me try it on here, Google Drive. Okay, I need to turn it on. Copy, paste.
It's only in my slide. Your screen is frozen, or did you change your screen? I still see the step 4 saving your data files.
Is my screen frozen?
I couldn't see any other thing.
Can someone let me know if my screen?
It's working for me. It's working.
Okay.
It's working.
Let me see what happened.
Yeah, maybe hop just quit and rejoin again. But I'll post the video.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. So once it's mounted, I think let me try this. So if I create Fast.ai v3. Okay, so let me try this. So I'm in my Google Drive. In Google Drive, I created a thing called Fast.ai v3, a folder. Let's try this. So
Did
let
you
me,
have to manually create it
huh?
or it was created
I
by the,
manually created it.
okay.
I don't know if it worked. So this is unknown territory. So let's try it.
Okay.
Some test.text, and then I'll just write something here. Test, not here. Test for Davidson email group. Well, let's see if I can load this thing in here. In Python, I think they also cover here that one way for you to use the path like this is using the path module in Python. So I would do path lib import path. This is Python's path module. I can do path base and my text file is this, and what's my file name? My file name, where's that? My
Looks
file.
like looks like the third line in that cell is what's making the directory.
Yeah.
The mkdir.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take the test txt. Let's see if this, let me call this my text file, add a few more cells, and check. Oh, I guess I don't complete. Let's check if this exists. So it does exist. So I see my mount point, and I can value text is my text file read text, and let me print. Here we go. So it does see my file that I've just put in here. That's how you I think that's why they say that, hey, you have to mount this thing and then put all your data in here in order for your model to use.
So you will need to manually create the folder on Google Drive that can be accessed here.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I guess I just tried it and it did work. I created a folder called Fast.ai-G3. I guess you can use anything, it doesn't have to be this, but you kind of need a base folder for it for Google Colab to mount from your Google Drive.
Okay.
And I'm using this. This is kind of like the Python feature path lib or path library that they introduced in 3.6. That's what I use here as well. So if you this is just like a Python syntax. If you have I would just look up Python path lib if you need this is a good resource. I'll just put it here. Using path lib to mount to get data from Google Drive. I'll add some more notes here, but I think that's all. That's all about setup. And I think at this point, you can just start running those code if you want, and then just like follow the course. Any question before I turn this screen off?
So Chang, I'm assuming the data, you have to bring the data and store it in your local machine, right?
I actually don't know. That's what David told me. Maybe David can say a little more about that.
In the notebook for the lesson, he pulls the data in another way. I think he's got there's a built-in data source in the library, which I think is nothing more than like a structured set of URLs, and then there's methods I think on the image bunch that will pull the actual images in for the processing that they do. But we haven't quite gotten to the point yet where we're pulling in our own data. Like the example they had was formatted specifically for the library, and it worked very nicely with the methods that they use. But you know, any other data set, you'll probably have to kind of dig into the library a little bit and figure out how to pull it in. It seems like they have a lot of really nice methods do that. And I think that's kind of the point of the Fast.ai library, is to simplify a lot of the tedious stuff, like getting, pulling in images from a list of URLs. But yeah, it seems like there's a couple different ways you could do it. You could store them locally. You could pull them in based off a list of URLs. But in the example he gave, the data set looked like it was built into the Fast.ai library.
Okay, so in the examples, the data is already there. Yeah, we don't have to bring our own data. We can run
In
the
the
example
example,
with that.
But
Okay.
from what I gather, the homework is to try to use the example. In the process, they used an example and then try it with a different data set to see if you could get good results. So you need to find some kind of data set to use for that. And that's kind of where it gets a little more challenging, because nothing else I've found has been, fit the mold that they had perfectly. So it requires some digging through the library or some manipulation to get it to work. But, it's part of learning it to be useful,
Okay.
Anything else that you wanted to add to that, Rich? Because we've been kind of working together on some of this stuff.
I mean, I guess the line that the line that pulls in all the data is the where I think it's right under the looking at the data section. It's where it says URLs dot pets, and that's just pointing to an S3 instance, like an Amazon cloud bucket that's got it's got like a tarball with all that stuff in it that it pulls in. And I was looking at it, and it's got in that URLs class that it's pulling those links out of, it's got several different data sets, like a few from Oxford, a couple from Stanford. So there may be another one in there that's already in the cloud that's able to be pulled down the same way, that might be able to be ingested with this same structure, maybe with a little bit of tweaking, like Dave said, because you have to pull in, if the images are all named like their classifications. So if like the pets one, a bulldog is named bulldog.jpg, like bulldog number 001.jpg. But if you have a data set that's just JPEG 001, and then you have a CSV file that's next to it that says this image name is this classification, then you have to completely change how you ingest the data. And they've got a function that'll do several different. It'll bring it in several different ways if you want, but it's it just all depends on how the data is structured in the folder structure. If the images are named appropriately, if it's just dumped in a folder with a CSV file next to it or something. So.
And if we're not using the right terminology, it's because we are not. This is not our normal trade, so we're speaking about data science as manufacturing engineers.
Yeah, we got pretty deep into deep down the rabbit hole the other night, David and I, just trying to figure out exactly what was happening to make this pull in the data. And I feel like we got a good general idea of what was happening, but it takes some work to get our own data set in there and working. So.
Sounds like we'll have a lot of good Slack discussions.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to learning a lot.
Yeah, same here.
So I think I'm going to put up another time in 2 weeks. And I don't really know what the pace will look like, but personally, I would try, like myself, I would try to work on lesson 1. And if I know sounds to me that there are people who might try, like say lesson 7 or lesson 4 or something like that. I don't think Yeah, like Xin just said, is anybody interested in NLP? I think that's a great question. I don't know. I think we can post the kind of like what we're interested in most
Mhm.
in the Slack channel and just kind of pair, and then we'll come back in 2 weeks and see what we found. Is it easy or is it like super hard or like what it is?
Yeah, we can try that. Sure.
I
I have
think
someone.
yeah, I think with break room it's like perfect. We can break everyone into like NLP rooms or like image rooms, lesson one rooms, or don't know what the heck is going on room, something like that. Any suggestion on like format or time?
Oh, Mark Nanji. Cool.
Okay,
7
so
o'clock's a pretty good time. It's not getting too late, but it's late enough that people, well, once we start attending work in person again, we'll be able to get home and get settled and have some dinner before it starts. So I think 7 o'clock's a pretty good time, at least for me.
mhm. Well, Dan just said that he's a Davidson, like I think he has to leave, but he said he's a Davidson student, so Davidson gave them free Zoom meeting account, so we can probably use that to bypass that 40 minutes. Like, but anyway, I guess I'll see everyone in 2 weeks. If you're not in the Slack channel yet, I'll post it in the. It's called Fast.ai Study Group in our Slack channel, which is this. So I'll see you there, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Chang.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Y'all
guys.
have a good week.
Bye.
Thanks. Good to see you guys. Thanks. Bye.